Alright, so you're welcome to another video tutorial of Adobe Photoshop. Yeah, so today I'm going to walk you through with some simple settings and then some of the tools. I'll go through all the tools, but as we do more tutorials, you get to know the tools more and more. So let me take you through it. Yeah, so let's get started. So this is the overview of Photoshop. Once you open Photoshop, this is what you see. You see, welcome to Photoshop. We are glad you are here. I realized that the first video, it was like the version of Photoshop was an old version, so you are not seeing some of the things. So I'm starting the whole thing all over again. So you see home, you see create new, you see open, and when you come on top here, top left corner, you see file, you see edit, you see image, you see layer, you see type, you see select, you see filter, you see 3D, you see view, you see window, you see help. They are all important. You go through them as we get more tutorials. Yeah, so let's go through it. All right, so you can either choose, if you are creating a new file, you can either use create new, or you can come to file and you select new, or some of the shortcuts. I'll try and list some of the shortcuts, simple shortcuts you will need, some of the important shortcuts. So Control N is new, so let's create new, or you can create new from here, but maybe sometime you have a recovered work on the Photoshop interface, so you just need to go to file. That's what you need to know. So sometimes you not see this one, so file, then you go to new. So there's the recent works I've done. Then you can come to saved, the works you saved. Then you come to photos. The photos, you see some, these are all types of shapes and then types of lengths and the measurements you need for your work. So if you come to print, you see letter is a sheet, so all the prints are sheets, so normal and then the regular sheet size. So you see letter, you see legal, you see tabloid, you see A4, A6, A5, A3. They all have the same size as the normal A4 sheets we know and the normal A3 sheets we know. C4, C5. We have DL. DL is envelope. So if you are working on an envelope, then you use a DL. So let's say if you are creating a sample card or an invitation card, see that thing, those things we use DL. That's the format we use. So we print them on envelope. So if you are printing, if you are designing, you choose DL. Yeah, if you come to art and illustration, I mostly use this measurements, so because it's a square pixel, so I use 200 by 200. That's for the posts like Instagram posts, normal posts like Instagram posts. You see WhatsApp status. Sometimes if you post a flyer, you see that it has zoomed out, that zoomed in, like you see that. So if it's a square pixel, it will fit and then you see it will. So I use that one. So you can change it from here, then you use a DL. So this A4 if you are creating something like a normal certificate, then A3 if you are creating like a citation for someone, a dignitary or something, then you use A3. You can also use any dimension you want. Then if you come to art and illustration, that's what I use mostly, because normally I design church flyers and then we post them on Instagram, Instagram, Facebook, and then WhatsApp. So it should be something square. So if it's a square, then you use something like a square pixel so that it won't zoom in, so that you see the thing you posted very well. So you can also change the dimensions here if you want to use a custom dimension, like you measure, so you do that one the way you want it. So let me use pixels because I need 2000 by 2000 pixels. Then the resolution is the quality of this thing, the thing you want, the quality. So 300 is is the best. Like you can zoom in, zoom. You see all the pixels very well. That's what the resolutions are. Sometimes you see a picture and then it's very blur. That's the resolution. It's very bad. Yeah, so that's what the resolution do. So if you are posting it on Instagram anywhere, you use 300. But if you are printing the work, you use 72. Please remember this. If you are printing the work, you set your resolution to 72. But if you are posting it on WhatsApp, Instagram, then any social media, then you use 300. Yeah, though. So this place you can change the name of your title. So let me do this one. New. Yeah, so new, then we create. Yeah. So we are working with 300 by 200 by 200. We are working at a 200 by 200. So let me do this first. So let me first talk about this place. This place is layers. The layer is very important, and then it's almost like anything you do here, anything you do here appears here. So all your progress will appear here. So the layers are very important. So if you type something here, it will show that you did something here. So if you want to add to, you see rounded to, you see ellipse to, triangle to, polygon to, line to, then custom. There are custom shapes there. I'll not go there right now. So let me just create a rectangle so that I'll use the marquee tool so that you know how it works. Okay, so I created a normal rectangle. These are properties. You just close it. I'll come there later. So you see that once I drew the rectangle, you see that the rectangle is shown here. The rectangle is shown here in the layers that I created a new rectangle. So it will show here just like this. So you come for your marquee tool, then you cut. But you see, if you select it like then you press on backspace, it's showing an error code. If it's showing an error code. It's showing an error code that you could not complete your request because the content of the layer is not directly editable. So you press OK. This is due to the shape is a raw shape. So if you want to edit something in Photoshop, being it a picture or anything, you can't just do it directly. You come to the layer, that layer you want to edit, then you right click it, then you come to rasterize layer. Yes, rasterize layer. So you right click, and then you come to rasterize layer. That's where you can know what you are doing. So rasterize layer, then you rasterize. So once you rasterize, you can delete it. Yes, you press the backspace and it will delete it. So you see the shape it created, that rectangular shape. If you want to remove it, you have to remove from there. So you right click again that place and then you deselect, or you can use Ctrl D to remove it. Yeah. So let's move to the next two. The next two is lasso tool. That one is also used for cutting. So and then it's used for selection. So the lasso tool, that one too is mostly I use the polygonal one for cutting. So let's say I want to cut a shape, a triangle I want to divide these triangles, this rectangle into two triangles. So I'll just use the lasso tool to do it. Yeah. then backspace. So I've gotten the triangle I want. Is that easy? So then you come to object selection. That one is used for selecting objects. So if you want to select something there, you just use it and then it will select that place for you. Then you come to the crop tool. If you want to crop a picture or crops a shape and then crop your work, let me show you how that works. So if you want to crop your work, increase the size or something, then use the crop tool to do it. If you want to decrease the size, increase the size, use the crop tool. Then we have a frame tool. This tool is also very important. That one is used to do so many things. So as we proceed, I'll teach you how to use the frame tool. Then you have eyedropper tool. The eyedropper is mostly used for selecting colors. So let me come here. The eyedropper tool. Then what color is this? Okay, so the eyedropper tool, I'll come back to the eyedropper tool. Then we have spot healing tool. If you want to heal something, let's say if you are editing a picture and then there is a pimple on the face of, there is a spot or something like that on the face of the picture and then you want to remove it, use the spot healing tool. It will just remove it. Then we have healing tool. There are, if you write it, you see so many of them. You work on all of them. Then we have a brush tool. The brush tool is also a very important. All the tools here are the most important tools you get in Photoshop. Then we have the clamp stamp tool. That one is also used for selection. Yeah. So then we have history brush tool. That one is used to clear some of the shapes. Yeah. It will move parts and then restore them. Then we have an eraser tool. Eraser tool is also very important. Sometimes you use erasers to remove backgrounds. So you right click on that one, then you see eraser tool, you see background tool, and then you see magic eraser. So let me use the eraser tool here. Let me increase the size small. Okay, so I can use the eraser to erase the tip. See that it's erasing. Yeah, so that's how the eraser works. But the magic eraser is fantastic. It's wow. If you use a magic eraser on, let's say, something background like any color, or if you use it on the work, like everything in the same color, your color is you used your magic eraser on, let's say blue, or you just one is black. So if you click your magic eraser on the black, all the blacks will be removed. It's simple, quick. Here, that's how the magic tool works. Okay, so let's go to the gradient tool. We use the gradient tool to create background. Let me do something here. So let's say you are working on let's create a background for our work. So use the magic eraser to create a background. You use the gradient tool to create a background. So create a background, then you can edit it. So I'll show you how you can do all those things. So you use that one to create a background. Then you come to blur tool. That one is also very important. So if something is, you are editing a picture or a flyer and then there are some places you want to blur, you use the blur tool to blur those parts. Then you have a dodge tool. That one is used to clarify some parts. So if you have a picture and then you want to make some part very visible, then you use the blur tool. Then we have a pen tool. Pen tool is used for how do we call it, logos. If you want to design a logo, then you use the pen tool to design logos. That's what we use the pen tool for, design of logos. And then we have different type of pen tools. So then we have a text tool. The text tool is anything you type here, use the text to type anything and everything. So let me go do something brief on the text tool. So let's type tutorial. So select this one. You see that it will come in now. Everything we do here will come to the layer side so that we know what you are doing. So you can change the font size and then everything like in MS Word. So you can change the type of font you want from here. So you can change the type of font you want from here. Then you can change from either you want regular, bold, oblique, anything, any type of font you want. Then you can adjust the alignment to, so you can adjust the alignment to. Okay, so that's the text tool. Then we have the part selection tool. That one use select parts, so you just select and then you combine part selection. Then you have the rectangular tool, the shape tool. So then we have the hand tool. The hand tool is also used to move for movements. So if you want to move something, then you use the hand tool. Then you have the zoom tool, so you can zoom out and in. So if you want to zoom out, then use the minus. So you come here and then use minus. Then if you want to zoom in, then you zoom in, then you use the plus one, so that one will zoom in for you. So we have the fit screen. You want to fit your screen so that you see your design very well, and then you have to, then you select or zoom all windows. So if you zoom all windows will zoom. So zoom all windows, so every part will zoom. So fit screen. Okay, so I think that's the most important tools here right now. So I'll come to the rest. So you can rename your layer. So let's say the tutorial is our theme for the project. So theme, you can name it, or maybe it's a date. You can name the layer maybe date, so that in case you want to change something, then in case there is a change in dates, if you are designing a flyer or something, then you just come to your layers. You can't go to your design. If you go to your design, you might mess some things up. So you come to your straight to your layers, and then you come to your layers and then you change from there. So and then, so the other things you can do with the layers, so I'll come back to all those ones. So if you want to remove a layer, you can click on the eye tool and then it will leave your design. It will be out of your design. Then you press the eye tool again, then you bring it. Then you can lock layers. You can lock them. So if you want to lock a layer, you can lock it. But right now you come back to all those things. If you are once you are designing, you will be using them one way or the other. So you get to know how it works. So I
But most times I feel no one can relate. When there's no time, there's no energy. I'm just running, running, running. Sweet white wine, 'cause there's no energy.
let me say it's a trial. So if you want to try and then you do it, after you are done, then you paste what you did in the group. Okay, so I'm creating a new interface, like the way you create a new project, but I'm using my same project. So let me use it. So the background will be white. We change the background color to white. Yeah. So you just create shapes, then you change colors, and then you use the marquee to cut some parts. So it's that simple and easy. So create a shape, yeah, then you create another one. So let me create this one. Let me create an ellipse too. So you see something. You see the layer was on the rectangle before I drew the distance there, the circle, so it will combine to one shape. You see that. So I don't want you to make that same mistake. So you see, if you change the color, everything will change. Yeah. So if you finish drawing the first one, the rectangle, go back and pick the move tool, then come back for the shape tool again, then draw your circle, so that it will be different shapes. It won't combine. Yeah. So after that, let me change this one to blue. Oh, let me change it to blue. Let me change this one to blue. Okay, blue. Then let me maintain the red. Then use the marquee tool to cut some part of the red. Then remember, you can't cut it directly unless you rasterize. The rasterize is not showing, so you just right click on the layer and then you look through the pop-up, and then the pop-up was not showing as I was recording the video, so look through the rasterize and then you click on the backspace. Click on the backspace or delete key on your keyboard to remove that part you want to cut out. Yeah, so that's all for today. Thank you all for watching, and then I'll be recording the next video soon. See you all. Thank you.